It's pretty crazy that it was fueled that many times and still got 99% accuracy. Zombie SLS in the Artemis 1 launch is a testament as to why you do all that analysis. And dude, I've been saying this since 2016, 2017. You know, everyone's like, so that's going to take too long. It's 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 too expensive. Shut the frick up. Not you. You know what I mean? Like, you have to get this stuff right. You have to do this analysis. Can you imagine if it failed? That would suck. That would have sucked. It would have sucked. You know, and it's funny, all those people that criticize, all those people that had all those criticisms based off of all these sources and all this other garbage, where are they now? SLS worked perfectly. It launched into a 99.90, the 99.9th percentile of nominal, like meaning it was almost exactly spot on to where NASA put it in. NASA was aiming for 99.9% accurate in terms of orbital insertion for the ICPS. That's absurd. That is absurd for any launch vehicle. That's absurd for a first try. And that's absurd for a lunar rocket. Saturn V was not nearly that accurate. No way. Hey, the same percentage for my ASVAB back in the day. Oh, right on. SLS is an amazing piece of technology. It's great. You know, it's funny. All those people it's using X shuttle parts. It's 40-year-old parts. Where are those people now? Man, they all got really quiet in the past 3 weeks. And I'm not saying it's just one person. I just see this all over the place. I see it in chat all the time. Where are these people now? Oh, geez. These people are sitting there swooning about how awesome those pictures from the moon are. Pictures like this, perhaps? Oh. I don't know, RJ. I don't let that guy live in my head rent-free anymore. Screw that. I don't know what he's saying. I don't really care. Like I said, dude, I made it a thing after getting super annoyed after a press interview like a year ago to not let it bother me anymore. And I don't let it bother me anymore. It's hilarious. Like, all right, let him ask questions. I don't care. You can ask whatever you want. Oh, that's so good, man. All right, anyway. Stand by for momentary loss of signal, as expected. Chat, this is Garage Mission Control. Do you have me 5x5? How copy? We did, Wefrel. They ended up making a stream for Orion. You could check it. It's on Ustream. The 4K views, yeah, I'm with you on that one. Roger, 5x5. You're ready for the event. So, yeah. All right. I got to get my phone and I got to set a timer for this garage stretch break because we have work to do with the Centaur, guys. Got to get that done. Even if I have to go into crunch mode and belt it out like I did last night. That was cool, huh? I knew exactly what I needed to fix. Let's go here. 15 minutes on the timer for this stretch break. Pilch, what's up? Hey, I'll be up front and say I've always said something could happen to Musk and cause financial problems to SpaceX. I did not think him buying Twitter would cause their stock to drop, but I'm still glad there are other operations for CEOs who make mistakes, since he has shown that he has the ability to negatively affect his companies regardless of others' feelings for him. I mean, Pilch, you could make the argument that everybody's stock is going in the toilet right now because we're trying tooth and nail to not plunge into a recession post-COVID. Honestly. Can we get a just build it point redemption? Yeah, we already did today. And that's part of the reason why I've got nothing done. Weed, I'm looking at you. There's a bit of a sound delay. Okay, stand by for momentary loss of signal. Did they ever do tank testing with the Saturn V? Of course they did, Cody. Yes, you have to do this stuff, man. You have to know what you made, okay? Part of space flight, and this is a big one. This is a big thing. Anyone can build something. I could build a rocket in here. Maybe we'll do that someday, like for some high-powered rocketry or something. Anyone can build a rocket. You build a rocket. Now you have to prove what you understood, what you made. That's so important to any type of engineering. Mechanical, electrical, aerospace, it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. Software engineering, it applies to it too. You have to know what your code's doing. If the code isn't doing something that you want it to do, guess what? You didn't code it good enough. Any coder will tell you that, right? You have to understand what you made, and you have to understand why it works the way that it does. Where its pitfalls are, where its limitations are. Can you do this? Can you do that? That's so ridiculously important for any type of engineering. It needs to be drilled in aerospace engineer and any type of engineer's head. You have to understand what you made. You have to analyze what you made. And here's the thing. It's not just that. So if I'm going to build a rocket, right? I would do the math out first before I make anything. I would do the math out first to try and use math to prove that the rocket will do what I want it to do, right? And then you build it, and then you test it. And if the testing data, if what the rocket is doing doesn't match your math, well, guess what? That's deviant engineering. That's not good. That's what doomed Challenger. It's doing something that we didn't want it to do. Whatever, it's fine. No, not whatever, it's fine. That's how people die. And that's not just spaceflight, that's any engineering. Analysis without numbers is just an opinion, right? Now, can NASA predict how SLS is going to work 100%? No, absolutely not. Nothing is certain. That's why they use nominal in spaceflight. Nominal means it's within a range. It's good enough. If you get bullseye, dead center of that range of numbers, then you're good. You're fine. But you're never going to get it infinitely accurate. That's never going to be right. Now, with that being said, when SLS launched, they were 99.9% accurate to their analysis, to their initial analysis. SLS, that tells me that SLS is a very well understood system. And it was a well understood system before they even launched it. That's good engineering. That's really good engineering. It does not get better than that. It does not get better than that. I don't give a frick what anybody says. You can say SLS, waste of money, blah, blah. Guess what, man? 99.9% accurate. That's as close to 100% as you're ever going to get. Ever. The vehicle literally performed with no problems, which is absurd, considering nobody's ever put 4 shuttle engines and 2 SRBs together and launched the damn thing. That's really, really, really good. Didn't you say that they didn't do it for the shuttle? That's why they didn't know how many times they could tank it. The analysis wasn't extensive enough. The nominal window was much too large. Why did that happen? Is it because NASA didn't know how to do it before? Well, believe it or not, no, that's not the reason. The reason why is that when you try to build the most complicated rocket ever devised by man on the budget of the Gemini program, you're going to run into problems. It's not that NASA didn't know they needed to do the testing. It's that they couldn't. They didn't have the money. Oops. The land rocket behind you is progressing nicely. Oh, yes, thank you. I had a high-powered rocketry question. I'm designing the livery for my team's rocket, and I wanted to make it easy to track for the ground. What should I imply into the design? Parking cone orange. Seriously, parking cone orange. This color. There's a reason why parking cones are this color, because you can see this in any condition. Light, dark, doesn't matter. You also have to understand why it doesn't work, or else you can't fix it. It's better to get it right on the first try, Theix, but yes. Might be a little hard to see against the sky. Lewis, there's a reason why shuttle spacesuits are parking cone orange, because NASA disagrees with that. And it's so they could find them in the middle of the ocean, but that's another story. So this snowblower, guys, I saw a lot of you guys have seen it. We need to fix it. I showed you this on the garage stretch break yesterday, but so I don't know how well you guys can see it, but that shouldn't do that. We need to fix this one. I got this snowblower for nothing, believe it or not, and it's pretty orange, pretty sweet. Yeah, the auger shouldn't be able to turn like this. Long story short, that mechanism, the gear that drives that mechanism is stripped completely. And that is because somebody replaced the shearing pins on this snowblower with bolts. And yeah, this kills your drive gear. I was going to put the checkered squares SLS has on it. Well, that's for video tracking, RJ, but yeah, sure. I see some problems with parking cone orange on Mars, but we're not talking about Mars, W. Unless RJ's rocket is going to Mars, I don't think that's an issue. Yeah, but I meant more in the testing phase. Theix, that depends on your testing regime. Your testing regime is denoted by stakeholder expectations, man. That's the most important thing. What are you trying to do? So we didn't realize what happened until I showed this thing on stream yesterday, and I'll show you guys again. Here, take a look. So, you have this camera right here. So, if we look down at the auger, right? That's not supposed to do that. Now, how this works, there's a drive gear right here. So there's a gear that comes in this way, and that takes the rotation and turns it 90 degrees. There's a pinion gear here, and then there's a ring gear. Well, it's not a ring gear. I called it a bevel gear before. It's basically that, right? So the ring gear comes from the thrower back in there. See the thrower? That's connected to the engine. So when you engage the drive, that thing spins, and it throws snow. Where are you? It throws snow up and out the chute. See right there? You can see my hand right there. See it? So the thrower is on an axle, right, to this gearbox right here. Now, the gear in there is stripped because this shouldn't, the auger, that's what this thing is. The auger shouldn't be able to move if that's not moving. This is a direct drive, so there's no transmission here. The auger is not supposed to be in neutral. You're not supposed to be able to do this. And as far as I can tell, the reason why that gear stripped out is because the shearing pins. So on a snowblower, you have these pins right here. See that? There's two of them, one on each side. There's one there, and there's one there. These shearing pins right here are designed to break if a rock or something gets caught in the auger. And what it's designed to do is sacrifice that pin. It's designed to sacrifice that pin so it doesn't break the gear. So if you replace it, if you replace the shearing pin with a bolt, which is not designed to shear, it's going to destroy your gearbox, which is, I'm pretty sure that's exactly what happened here. Because those are not shearing pins. That is a bolt with a nylock washer, or a nylock nut. That's definitely not the shearing pin. That's definitely a bolt. So we're going to fix it. I'm going to put new shearing pins in, and we'll do it on stream. I'll show you guys how to do it. We'll put new shearing pins in the blower, and I'll take the gearbox apart, and we'll put a new gear in there. Oh, you can buy the gears. You can buy the gears. It turns out that they sell them. They're all over the place, actually. Yeah, those gears are all over the place because I guess this isn't the first time this has happened. You can buy them off Amazon. Hopefully I bought the right one. I don't know. We'll find out. We'll take it apart when the gear comes in. Should be in next Tuesday. So, yeah. I also got to buy some shearing pins for it because bolts are just going to wreck the gear again. Once again, those shearing pins are sacrificial in case something gets caught and jams the drive. It's supposed to break the bolt and not the gearbox. It's like I said this the other day. It's like the crush cores on Falcon 9. When Falcon 9 comes in, and sometimes it lands too hard. When it lands too hard, there's an aluminum honeycomb inside of the landing leg or the landing strut that crushes itself, and that takes that kinetic energy and absorbs all the energy, right? Because shearing releases energy. And that makes it so the rocket actually doesn't get damaged. Those shearing pins are there to make sure the gearbox doesn't get damaged, but if you replace them with something that doesn't shear, it's going to break. And that's exactly what happened. Yeah, Cherokee, there's a Lowe's a good ways north of me. I'm gonna have to go get. They do have shearing pins though. I went there a little while back. There's a fly in here, and he keeps flying at the ceiling like it's the sky or something, which is hilarious. What's all that? A bolt? Not so. Ugh, you're the worst. You're the worst. Yeah, I need a grease gun, Shutsy. I mean, it looks like it was greased. This was my neighbor's. He actually gave it to me for free because he gave it to me for free because he bought my the guy that I bought the house from. He sold his snowblower to my neighbor, and this was my neighbor's snowblower. So he sold it to him, and then my neighbor gave me this. He's like, "Yeah, it's broken, but." You know, I got a new snowblower. I bought it from the guy that lived in the house before you. I'm like, oh, all right. He's like, you can have it for free. It's a great snowblower, believe it or not. This Ariens ST824 is a really nice snowblower. Odds on the neighbor breaking the new one? Oh, I have no idea. I have no idea. He can have whatever. He can have it. I'd prefer this one. The reason why I prefer this one is because, well, here we go. It's old. It's an old design. It's an old design, but it works really well. This thing, how old do you think the snowblower is? And if you were in the stream the other day when I said how old it is, don't say. How old do you think it is? 10 years? 20 years? 30 years? 40 years old? You think this thing's 40 years old? 20, 10, 20, 10, 25? Ariens stopped making ST824s in 1992. The snowblower is over 30 years old. Easily over 30 years old. Yeah, my neighbor took pretty good care of it. He took good care of it. Except for the shearing pins, but whatever. That was probably done in a pinch. Oh, the shearing pins broke. Oop. Time's up. The shearing pins broke. The shearing pins broke. I have a lot of snow to move. whatever, just put some bolts in and it'll be fine. And then he forgot about it. That's probably what happened. That makes the most sense. But this thing, they stopped making the 8024 in the 90s, guys. This thing is old, and that means it has an old type of single piston engine. This is a Tecumseh motor. Tecumseh was a small engine manufacturer from Ann Arbor, Michigan, and they were known for really, really, really nice motors that don't break. And I did start this thing the other day on stream, and I don't want to start it again, but if I pulled this right now, you prime it and bring the choke off, you pull it, it'll start instantly, like no questions asked. That Tecumseh motor is never going to break. It will never break because it was made in Michigan in the 80s. It's not going to break. Yeah, I know, J-Speed, right? How many digits on the serial number? Yeah, here, we can find out the date of manufacture. 010482. Actually, it says 98, USA 98 on it. So maybe this one's maybe it was the late 90s, not the early 90s. So 20 years old at best, but either way. Q1, yeah. Nice truck. Thanks, Ho. Appreciate it. We'll be fixing that on stream too. But they did start, okay, so to be fair, they started making these ST824s in 1980. So it's, and my neighbor told me that he got it in the early 90s, so maybe he's misremembering, I don't know. Could be that. But either way, that Tecumseh motor is worth it. And considering it was free, dude, that thing, this thing doesn't break. It's ridiculous how good the Tecumseh motors are. You can look them up. They're great. It's like an old Briggs & Stratton, man. It's really, really good. How much work does the red truck need to get working? I made a master list the other day. Actually, time's up on the stretch rake, but I need to help find a good exhaust system, a good exhaust kit to build one. There's really no pre-mades for it, considering the engine that's in this thing is not the engine that came from the truck. So we're getting into some custom work, so yeah, we're gonna need to figure that out. I'm sorry, this mechanism was binding up and I fixed it the other day, and now it's just really satisfying to watch the, I'll show you. It's really satisfying to watch that pinion gear do its thing. Ooh. Eee, that's nice. Quit playing with your snowshoe. Don't tell me what to do. That's gonna freeze, I promise you. Nah. Not when it's coated with lubricating oil. It'll be fine. That pinion gear is, I think that's what that's called. That gear is actually, that's not a pinion gear. That would be a worm gear, now that I'm thinking about it. Yeah, no, I greased this whole thing up. I greased the whole freaking gear up. Worm and spur, yep. All right, guys, you're such a nerd, never change. I'm sorry, I appreciate well-engineered equipment, man. I like stuff that was built right. I like stuff that was built right, boy, I tell you what. Your mom appreciates well-engineered equipment. No, your mom appreciates well-engineered equipment. Now what? Like Tom Brady. What? My mom, your mom's dead? Well, you calling her a liar now? Calling her a liar? That's a messed up thing to say about your mom. Jeez. Yeah, Electron, there you go. She's lying, though. So the ashes aren't lying, Pythos. Now you've lied to me twice. Anything else you're not mentioning, boy? All right. Stand by for loss of signal as expected. All right. I'm back. Okay. Garage stretch break is over. Okay. All right. So, that's enough from the garage front here. Well, hello there.